Hi, I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 40 years. I'm going through the lessons this year, asking Jesus to clarify for me, and then I'm writing from that clarity whatever comes to me. And that's what I'm sharing with you today. So let's get started. Today, we're looking at lesson 131. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. That's good news, isn't it? Paragraph 1. Failure is all about you while you seek for goals that cannot be achieved. You look for permanence in the impermanent, for love where there is none, for safety in the midst of danger, immortality within the darkness of the dream of death. Who could succeed where contradiction is a setting of his searching and the place to which he comes to find stability? Goals that are meaningless are not attained. There is no way to reach them, for the means by which you strive for them are meaningless as they are. Who can such senseless means and hope through them to gain in anything? Where can they lead, and what could they achieve that offers any hope of being real? Pursuit of the imagined leads to death because it is a search for nothingness. And while you seek for life, you ask for death. You look for safety and security, while in your heart, you pray for danger and protection from the little dream you made. We made this dream world in the hope of achieving specialness. I suppose that what we make, we love and protect. When reading about this, I always think about my writing. I probably have every scrap of writing I've ever done somewhere on this computer. Even when the writing is bad or useless, even when I have written a better version of the same thing, I still keep it. It is my creation, and without thinking about it, I protect it from the delete button. Now that I'm aware of what I'm doing, one of these days I may go through and use that button. I suppose me hoarding my writing is a good metaphor for what we have done with the world. Who knew that seeking specialness would also give us war and conflict of all sorts and pain? Our search has led to sickness, every imaginable form of suffering, and ultimately death. I wonder if we anticipated the absence of God and the loss of self. And yet, like a bad piece of writing, we continue to protect it. But just as I have taken notice of the uselessness of bad writing, I've also realized that the world of our dream is not worth protecting. I've learned to be vigilant for ways I am still defending this dream of life. I've gotten very good at it and have chosen to release many of those defenses. I do this not as a sacrifice, but because I see the lack of value. I have willingly given up trying to raise my status through any means. More money, more prestige, more respect have not brought me happiness. They didn't bring me to reality, to myself, my capital S self, nor did they awaken a memory of my creator. These ideas are useless to me. Learning what love means has taken longer. I had a dream that one of my children was in mortal danger. Even to dream that I would outlive my child woke me in a cold sweat. I would tell you that this is because of my love for this child, but is that really love? She came to the world for a reason, as did we all. Wouldn't love want my children to have the experience they chose? Real unconditional love is hard to come by in this dream world. Jesus says there is none here. I can believe that. Why would I want to defend against the loss of a loveless world? Paragraph 3. Yet searching is inevitable here. For this you came, and you will surely do the thing you came for. But the world cannot dictate the goal for which you search unless you give it the power to do so. Otherwise, you still are free to choose a goal that lies beyond the world and every worldly thought, and one that comes to you from an idea relinquished yet remembered, old yet new, an echo of a heritage forgot, yet holding everything you really want. 4, be glad that search you must. Be glad as well to learn you search for heaven and must find the goal you really want. No one can fail to want this goal and reach it in the end. God's Son cannot seek vainly, though he tried to force delay, deceive himself, and think that it is hell he seeks. When he is wrong, he finds correction. When he wanders off, he is led back to his appointed task. We come here on a quest, searching for something, and so we must do this. But the world cannot dictate what it is we search for. We can search for worldly success in some form. We can make another senseless attempt to salvage what we have made, or we can search for heaven. Those are our two choices, and we must do one or the other. I began by trying to make the dream work for me, but evidently this is a lifetime in which I make a different choice. Those early years of trying and failing were essential to remind me that trying to remediate the world is a lost cause. This is the lifetime that I found A Course in Miracles and have stuck with it all these years. I have decided that it is time to awaken from the dream. Paragraph 5. No one remains in hell, for no one can abandon his creator, nor affect his perfect, timeless, and unchanging love. You will find heaven. Everything you seek but this will fall away, yet not because it has been taken from you. It will go because you do not want it. You will reach the goal you really want as certainly as God created you in sinlessness. For someone who wants the world to exist and the stories to be real and current, this paragraph will not be welcome news, but I'm done with the world. I'm ready to return home, so this is the best news imaginable. It tells me that I cannot fail to find heaven, even though at times I seem not to succeed. I am so glad to know that all the useless journeys will come to an end and that I will have lost nothing. God created me sinless, and so sinless I must be. He created me part of his autonomy, and so I remain. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. Paragraph 6, sorry. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. Time is a great illusion. It is past or in the future. Yet this cannot be if it is where God wills his Son to be. How could the will of God be in the past or yet to happen? What he wills is now, without a past and wholly futureless. It is far removed from time, as is a tiny candle from a distant star, or what you chose from what you really want. So time is part of the illusion we made up. In God, there is no time. There is no past where we abandoned God. There is no future where we have suffered enough to appease God and are accepted into heaven. All of this is just part of the dream. We cannot fail to reach heaven because it's in us. There is a place within us that is in perfect peace and has always been as God created it. Because heaven is within, it is available to us now. No great quest is necessary, only the desire for it and the acceptance of it. Paragraph 7. Heaven remains your one alternative to this strange world you made in all its ways, its shifting patterns and uncertain goals, its painful pleasures and its tragic joys. God made no contradictions. What denies its own existence and attacks itself is not of him. He did not make two minds, which heaven as a glad effect of one, and earth the other's sorry outcome, which is heaven's opposite in every way. 8. God does not suffer conflict, nor is his creation split in two. How could it be his Son could be in hell when God himself established him in heaven? Could he lose what the eternal will has given him to be his home forever? Let us not try longer to impose an alien will upon God's single purpose. He is here because he wills to be, and what he wills is present now, beyond the reach of time. So heaven is the only reality, and so our only real choice. What is not of God does not exist, and God does not contradict himself. We who are created as an extension of God cannot be anywhere he did not place us. Therefore, we cannot be in this hellish world. We can only be dreaming of it, and it's time to awaken from this nightmare. We are in God right now because that is his will. One night I was having a pretty cool dream that I was really enjoying. Suddenly, right in the middle of it, I started waking up. I tried to go back to the dream because I didn't want to leave it, but alas, I was awake. In a few minutes, I had forgotten what the dream was all about and only had a vague memory of something interesting happening. I wouldn't have wanted to stay asleep, really. I had things to do, places to go. This is what is happening in my waking dream. I've lost interest in dreaming and want to wake up to my real life in God. What I'm experiencing now are the dregs of the dream. It is that moment of waking up where one feels some lingering desire to finish the dream, to see what happens next. But the more I wake, the less interest I have in the dream. 9. Today, we will not choose paradox in place of truth. How could the Son of God make time to take away the will of God? He thus denies himself and contradicts what has no opposite. He thinks he made a hell opposing heaven and believes that he abides in what does not exist, while heaven is a place he cannot find. 10. Leave foolish thoughts like these behind today and turn your mind to true ideas instead. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth, and it is truth we seek to reach today. We will devote 10 minutes to this goal 3 times today, and we will ask to see the rising of the real world to replace the foolish images that we hold dear, with true ideas arising in the place of thoughts that have no meaning, no effect, and neither source nor substance in the truth. Logically, it makes no sense to believe in the world. There is no opposite to God, and so no will but his. He does not will that his son suffer, nor does he will to be without his son. Therefore, it cannot happen. A dream is the only alternative explanation for this experience. We wanted specialness, and God, being love, could not give that to us. So we decided to dream of specialness. Since nothing but a dream is happening, we can wake up whenever we decide to do so. Maybe now would be a good time. Or maybe the mind needs a little time to adjust to the idea. We made up time as a way to have this experience, but the Holy Spirit will use it as a way to gently awaken us from the dream. A Course in Miracles spends half its time helping us to see the dream is really a nightmare. The other half is spent helping us to understand there is no loss in waking up, but rather there is a loving Father waiting to greet us. 11. This we acknowledge as we start upon our practice periods. Begin with this. I ask to see a different world and think a different kind of thought from those I made. The world I seek, I did not make alone. The thoughts I want to think are not my own. For several minutes, watch your mind and see, although your eyes are closed, the senseless world do you think is real? Review the thoughts as well, which are compatible with such a word and which you think are true. Then let them go and sink below them to the holy place where they can enter not. There is a door beneath them in your mind, which you could not completely lock to hide what lies beyond. Today's meditation is an example of the Holy Spirit using time to gently waken us. We're not asking to be jerked from this long dream. We're just asking to see a different world and to think different thoughts. That's not very threatening, is it? We look for a while with Jesus at our ego thoughts that we have believed were true. In this way, we're corrected and we can let them go. Then we can sink below ego thinking and find the door into the real world. 12. Seek for the door and find it. But before you try to open it, remind yourself no one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. And it is this request you make today. Nothing but this has any meaning now. No other goal is valued now nor sought. Nothing before this door you really want, and only what lies past it do you seek. 13. Put out your hand and see how easily the door swings open with your one intent to go beyond it. Angels light the way so that all darkness vanishes, and you are standing in a light so bright and clear that you can understand all things you see. A tiny moment of surprise, perhaps, will make you pause before you realize the world you see before you in the light reflects the truth you knew and did not quite forget in wandering away in dreams. The imagery in this meditation is beautiful and compelling. I'm sure it is designed to lead us into an experience. 14. You cannot fail today. There walks with you the Spirit heaven sent you that you might approach this door someday, and through his aid slip effortlessly past it to the light. Today, that day has come. Today, God keeps his ancient promise to his Holy Son, as does his Son remember his to him. This is a day of gladness, for we come to the appointed time and place where you will find the goal of all your searching here and all the seeking of the world, which end together as you pass beyond the door. I cannot fail today. The Holy Spirit that heaven sent me for the day I reached this door walks with me. Today, that day has come. Today, God keeps his ancient promise to me, and today I remember my promise to him. I approach this practice with joy and anticipation of success. It is meant to be. The ego is frantically trying to get my attention to discourage me, but I know the ego is just a thought in my mind and has no power over me. I sit in silence while the Holy Spirit clears my mind and peace is restored. 15. Remember often that today should be a time of special gladness, and refrain from dismal thoughts and meaningless laments. Salvation's time has come. Today is set by heaven itself to be a time of grace for you and for the world. If you forget this happy fact, remind yourself with this. Today I seek and find all that I want. My single purpose offers it to me. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. Thank you so much for joining me in this very beautiful lesson. I hope you enjoyed my recording, and I invite you to join me again tomorrow. If you found it helpful, please like it and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I'll be back tomorrow with another lesson.